right, everybody, I present to you Mr. Jeffrey Lee.
All right, thank you all very much. One of the, you know what? I want to grab my paper back there. Can someone grab that just off the, it's a little, yep, right there. It just had like a little list of questions. Thank you. So I want to jump into this real quick first. Some people are asking, internet services being advertised faster. So Spectrum, we just increased our minimum internet speeds. We start off now at 200 megabytes a second, which is really, really fast compared to most of our competitors, especially when it comes to price. So we have our 200, 400 meg, and our 1 gig speed. It's the same thing that we offer for our residential as well. So those are things that you can actually get on both sides, whether it be business or on the residential side. What is that kind of was answered there. Someone asked about fiber optics. So that term fiber, when they talk about internet, it's a word that's loosely thrown around. Some people say, oh, I got fiber, and they really mean DSL, which is kind of is and kind of isn't. It's one of those things that's not, it's not the kind of fiber that a lot of companies sometimes get that cost. Because typical, what I'm going to call real fiber, sometimes that's going to cost you $400, $500, $600 a month, depending on what speed you have. Sometimes even into the thousands of dollars a month just for the internet. Again, those are for, usually what we see at banks and schools and hospitals getting that kind of fiber, because those allow for a lot more capability. So most people, when they talk about fiber, aren't getting that level of fiber. So Spectrum, our services are a fiber coax hybrid. All of our backbone is fiber, but we come to the house or to the business with coax in typical cases. So let's see, what led me to this line of work? I was with Comcast for 10 years back in Indiana. I came out here and I worked actually with Realtor.com for a year before I came to Spectrum. So I work with agents across the country, but I just sales. I like being able to be outside. I like the flexibility. I like to kind of call my own shots. So that's really what led me to it. Cloud storage, Spectrum actually has been offering that for many years. However, we just found out they're going to stop offering the free cloud storage. So I think it's in November that they're discontinuing that. It was the kind of 100 gigs of cloud backup. So that is actually going away. What's the best solution for businesses? It really just kind of depends on each individual business. A lot of times when I'm talking to some business and whatever I have to offer, sometimes it's not the best fit. Sometimes they do need something a little more robust and consistent for what they're doing. So I always try to be cognizant of those kind of things. And VoIP service is what's called, it stands for VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. Those are companies like 8x8 and Vonage. They basically run phone service over the internet. And the call quality depends on how good your internet speeds are. If you've got great internet, you usually don't have any issues. If your internet's spotty or has issues, then you might have call drops or echoing and other stuff like that. Spectrum services are not VoIP. Most people don't understand that. Ours are actually analog digital. It's over our private network. It actually does not go to the public internet at all. So that's why our services are a little bit different when it comes to our phone service. So that's one of the things that are different. But what I wanted to chat with you guys today about is today is the launch of our Spectrum Business mobile service. So we've had mobile for a little while now, but they've officially let us start launching this on our business side. So I'm going to jump right into this here. See where my mouse is. All right, I don't know what's going on. All right. These are just some of the things I'm going to highlight: the value proposition, pricing, some examples, and some incentives to switch over to Spectrum. So one is we are part of the largest network for mobile services, as well as our hotspots around the country. The mobile service is a hybrid of actually partially on the Verizon backbone. That's something you won't hear other people really telling you. We have a partnership with Verizon. We actually provide the fiber to a good majority of their towers that give everyone their regular cell phone service, as well as AT&T, many others. We actually provide fiber to most of those towers for them to have services. Us and Comcast are probably the two biggest ones that provide fiber to the cell phone companies. So as part of that, we have this agreement with them where we're going to offer, we offer mobile services, but part of it's over our private network, part of it's over theirs, depending on where you're at. Again, best devices, you can either bring your own device, which is usually what we tell people to do if you want to come to Spectrum Mobile. If you have an iPhone, an LG, Google, we have, basically you can use most of the popular ones that people have as well. So if not, you can definitely get one with us. Save up to 40% on your cell phone bill. It's very flexible. We don't require any contracts. There's no gimmies or gotchas. Like our regular phone and internet services, we don't charge any taxes or fees, so the prices we quote are actually what you're going to pay out the door. So that's definitely been a nice aspect for some people. So we have unlimited talks, texts, and data for $45 a month. So when you think about what you're paying or what you're getting right now, that's what we want you to take a look at. And then we have a buy the gig plan for $14 a month. So if 95% of the time you're either at home on your Wi-Fi or at the office on Wi-Fi, sometimes that buy the gig isn't such a bad option, but it's something for you to potentially think about. And so feasibly, you might be able to get your service for as little as $14 a month. And I know a lot of people, sometimes if you have one line, you're paying $45, $50, sometimes $80 a month, something to think about. So there's a one-time activation fee of $10. Again, you can bring your own device, no contracts, unlimited talk and text to the US, Canada, and Mexico. And you definitely have a mobile app that you can track your data to see kind of where you're at. Let's say you had the $14 plan and then all of a sudden you saw yourself getting to 2 and maybe you're getting close to 3 gigs and you've got another week or 2, you can actually just go to your app and just flip to the unlimited gig. That way, if you get 5 or 6, you're not paying that $14 per gig. So that's what it is. It's $14 per gig if you go by the gig. So if you use 2 gigs, then you're paying $28 is basically how that works. So this just gives us a couple of options or examples. So if you can see there, 3 lines at unlimited, and depending on how much you use. So we actually have 20 gigs per line, technically, on that unlimited gig after the 20 gigs. If you use that much, most people don't use that much, to be honest with you. Even my daughters who are always on social media and doing their stuff, they don't even use that much. But this just gives you a couple of options and examples. It shows, again, the 5, if they're using the buy the gig plan, 5 phone lines for $112 a month. Again, just kind of gives you a couple of options there to just take a look at. This is a nice little example of my lovely family, a family of 4, about how much data we use approximately. I might use 3, Shandy uses a little less, Marissa and Michaela both use a little bit more. And this is a potential way you can potentially put your package together with us. So with this option, it shows 2 unlimited plans, which would be Marissa and Michaela. Okay, thank you. And my wife and I with the buy the gig for $28 a month. And I put that because even if we both used about 3, 4, 5, 4 gigs or so, even if we do that, we might be at $45, $60 or something like that. That's still cheaper than both of us doing the unlimited plan at $90. So you can still, there's a lot of flexibility with this even as you go, which is really, really nice. So that's oftentimes unusual in this industry. Again, we have the latest phones. This is I just threw a few of them on here, nothing really big there. That we do offer, obviously, we offer like the different payment plans as well. So if you're ready to upgrade and you want to change your phone in, we definitely have those plan options too. I know this is all really small. I do have some things I can send to you, and I have a couple of brochures that I meant to pass around, but I totally forgot. All right, so I know I only got a minute or so left, so I want to see if there's any questions about Spectrum Mobile. Yes, I'm sorry.
You could switch from the 14 a month over to the unlimited. Can you switch from the unlimited back over?
Either way, yep,
Just every month?
at any time.
How much leeway do you need to know when to switch?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it's pretty much instantaneously because you can do it on your app.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to call in and deal with customer service. Yes.
So is it by the gig, meaning you've hit a gig and now you went to a gig and a half, they immediately charge you the extra 14?
Correct. So yeah, so it's by the gig. So if you use 1.5, they're going to charge you 2. And the other caveat I forgot to mention to this that is extremely important, that is you do have to have business internet for me to be able to sell the service. So we'd have to give you or get you business internet. Again, if you have residential services, you can get this anytime anyway, just through our residential department. But on the business side, you at least have to have internet. Oh, sorry.
Can you lock down those gigs to make sure they don't go over that one or that two? It's just kind of open.
I don't
do it
think
on
you.
the phone.
Yeah, I think you can on the phone actually. Yes, you're right.
Device itself.
That's right.
Roll
Alright.
you off the
You got
chair.
gone.
Yes, I got gonged. So yes, thank you very much. If you guys have more questions, feel free to chat with me afterwards, or we can go from there. Thank you.
All right.